welcome to
Straight Out of the Sandbox.
Straight Out of the Sandbox.
You ever seen those videos where they...
Look at ASMR. We talked about this.
No, the bitches with the Bentley.
Stupid.
You ever seen it?
Well, we got a great show for you today. As you can see, we are filming in my living room.
Woo-woo.
Pretty excited, trying out a new comfy area. That way we can have more guests and do more stuff.
And then the American flag is in the background.
I do have an American flag in the background. If you're not watching, there is one. You can believe me.
It's there.
Well, I'm your host, Josh Schaefer.
Is this actually the intro, or we were just...
Oh, yeah, this is it.
Okay, I'm Josh Giamenico.
And this is Straight Out of the Sandbox, and we got a great show for you today.
Always.
So stick around. We're going to hit the intro music. Do it like I showed you.
Oh,
Pump it up.
way off beat. Like a white boy should. Oh, fade it out. Yeah. Now, it is nice.
I'm gonna get comfortable.
It is nice not being like real close to each other and like in a cramped little thing in the basement. But
Bruh,
like I
I'm
said,
chilling.
like I said to you earlier, okay? This looks like a casting couch situation, and I'm definitely the top.
She's coming in. You know what happens next, right?
Oh,
She's always like, why you gotta go so aggressive?
who said that?
Anyways. All right, so
Hey, what did Cinderella say when she got to the ball?
Cinderella. She's the worst.
She is the worst.
All right. So, like I said, recording in a new area. Hopefully, it sounds good. If not, you definitely let us know. But I think it'll be all right. And we have more room here. Like, potentially get different, like, little mic stand situation, and then have a couple more people.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm really, really excited about, because I have 3 or 4 people currently that want to be on the show in the next coming weeks. So we had to figure out a venue or a situation for that, because the studio is too small. I made it for me,
Yeah, and
for
then
myself, and then I had you, and I was like, oh, we could have 2 people in here.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, no,
Real
I can't
tight.
have anybody else except on a phone call. So, we're gonna try this out. I think it'll work. I think it looks cool in here. It's like really comfortable.
Yeah.
The lighting's decent, so
We gotta do like Nikki's so festive, right?
yeah.
So we gotta get her like there's like a flower booth. Oh, you moved the flowers.
I did. They were right in the way.
It was gonna look so like it's fall and like pumpkin spice season, and I'm a slut for pumpkin spice stuff.
I can see that.
Huge slut.
All right. Well, today we are recording. It is Thursday, September 14th, 2023.
All day.
And I would be absolutely
Remiss.
that's the word I think I was looking for.
We gotta say something about the day that just passed.
Right.
That's
and
what we're getting to. We ain't
9/11 was Monday. It marks the 22nd anniversary of the 9/11 attacks in New York City, and the plane that went down in Pennsylvania and at the Pentagon. So
where were you?
well, so that's funny, because that was my next thing. You want to do a moment of silence?
Yeah.
Let's do a quick moment.
That's quick.
Word. So, where were you on the night? So, I was. Everybody. It's a great question, because like everybody has their own thing, and most people remember where they were.
I don't think I've ever met anyone that's forgotten.
Not forgotten,
But like forgotten where they were. Like I
new-
just remember
new kids,
so visibly.
These young kids that were not even around.
Yeah.
They don't even remember. Like Lexi, my wife's sister, was born in 2000, so she has no memory of 9/11.
Lexi was born in 2000.
She's a straight adult, dude. Out of college already. That's how long it's been.
Yo, all right. Next question.
All right, so where were you during that at 9/11? I do remember I was in school. I was 16 years old, and it was September 11th, 2001 was the day that I set up to take my road test for my driver's license. I'm not going to lie. I'm not fronting. All right. I failed my first time. I went in it with absolutely no practice.
I know how to drive.
In a car that I've never been in. And I went there and I'm like, I could drive. And I drove around and we got back and the guy's like, yeah, you definitely failed. And I was like, what? And then I drove home too. And I was so pissed.
But then a different time.
Got right on the thing and I got a driving test scheduled for September 11th, which was a month. I don't know what day of the week it was. I was going to say it was a Monday.
I'm not Rain Man. I don't remember that shit.
But I remember my dad was going to come to school and pick me up to take me to the thing because it was at like 10 o'clock or so. And so right around 8:30, my dad was coming to pick me up and I'm walking down and all of a sudden I started hearing news and people are turning on their TVs in their classrooms and, saying like, what the hell happened? And a plane hit in New York City. And immediately you think, it's got to be an accident, right? But how the fuck do you fly a plane? I don't know. At 16, I'm thinking like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
so I got
something happened with the flight controls.
Right. So I got in the car with my dad and we're driving and we're listening to the radio. They're talking about it. And the second plane hit while we were driving into Rochester. And I was like, holy crap. Like, that's weird, right? And I remember my dad was like super calm. Like, oh yeah. He was probably trying to be chill for me.
Yeah.
But we got downtown in Rochester and the DMV was closed.
Yeah.
They closed everything. If you don't know anything about Rochester, New York, it's actually some pretty big history here. There's a lot of things that have happened. Xerox, Bosch and Lomb, and Kodak were all started in Rochester, New York, and the main operations for them were in Rochester, New York for a very long time. They're really not anymore. Most of it moved, or Kodak mostly shut down. But Rochester was seen as an actual point of like a big target. So
because back then they were all still very prevalent in Rochester. Like all the businesses were still going. Kodak was still.
Well, I'm going even further back. So like Cold War era, Rochester was looked at as like a main target. So like. They thought, like, if the Russians were going to bomb us, like, this is definitely a place they'd hit. Because, like, I guess those companies held government contracts, too.
Yeah.
There's also...
They still do.
L3 Harris is in Rochester also.
All those Harris radios that you find gentlemen and ladies out there have used over there. And, and your Humvees.
Everywhere,
Built here.
So, when... the attacks happened, they immediately shut a lot of stuff down. They grounded all the airplanes, and then government agencies started closing. And Rochester, in their, they're like, we're a major target. They shut everything down. All government agencies shut down, except for obviously like police department and stuff. But so my road test got canceled. Long story short, and then I just went home for the day.
Bummer.
And then I took it a couple days later, but. Yeah, that's where I was.
I was in English. I was in 8th grade. And I was in English. I remember they didn't announce it over the intercom. So they had 1 or 2 teachers going door to door, interrupting classes to talk to the teachers. And I just remember that moment where my English teacher was told. And I remember her eyes just like bulging out of her head when she was told what was going on.
And you have to remember, not to interrupt you, but if you're thinking about it and you're like thinking about where you were.
There's no cell phones or social media.
No cell phones.
Yeah.
No social media.
The only way you were going to know is
notification.
Yeah, there's only way you were going to know was TV.
Right.
So it was in middle school. They didn't turn a single TV on. They didn't tell us anything.
You're kind of young.
Yeah.
I mean, in
8th grade, I was like, what, 12? No, I would have been 4. Ooh.
8th grade?
Yeah.
8th grade's like 12, 13?
Yeah, I would have been 13 at this time.
Yeah.
So.
Young buck?
Yeah. So they came in, just completely ignored us. They continued on with the school day like normal. And then sent us home on the buses, and my mom was there, and like I was like, why is my mom here? We had no idea. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon before, like just a regular school day. 2 o'clock in the afternoon before I got home, and then found out about what actually happened.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And then we watched on reruns for days the towers falling.
Oh yeah, everybody did. It's all
it was.
Anybody did.
I mean, you weren't watching TV, you weren't watching anything. There was no regularly scheduled program. The entirety of every channel you turned on was the same scene in New York City.
crazy. So
Yeah.
well, in news.
Way to transition, bud. Smooth transition.
Oh, it's still about 9/11.
Okay.
This leads me to the story about our president this week.
Oh God.
And he's our president. You can't say he's not.
He sure is.
It's like when people are like, Trump's not my president.
He was elected and won.
Right. So, President Joe Biden was in Alaska for the 9/11 ceremony. Well, like at the time of that they do the ceremony every year and do like remembrance, and the president makes a statement every year about 9/11 and to reflect and say this is about our country's history, and it's important to remember the sacrifice and the people that died and the people that did amazing heroic things down at the World Trade Center, or the people who took down that fucking plane in Pennsylvania.
That's facts.
Crazy, yeah. So, but President Biden decided to be in Alaska, which was the first time in 22 years that a president was not at one of the sites of the attacks. They've made a statement every year from either World Trade Center, Pennsylvania, or the Pentagon every year, except for this year. So, you go ahead, say what you're gonna say, because I'm gonna say something that you're gonna get really pissed off about it. So this will be good.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay.
I don't care who's in Alaska.
Okay.
I don't care. How long after December 7th happened did people keep using that as an excuse and like a way of like to me it's pandering.
Okay. So what you just said was almost verbatim, funny enough, of what Biden's administration. They were asked, why isn't the president going to be at the World Trade Center this year? And they said, it's been over 20 years. Presidents weren't still visiting Pearl Harbor after 20 years.
Yo, are you for real? Because I had no idea that was
that's what happened. It was in the news this week that they said that. So interesting take. I don't know, like the statement was written. It wasn't
right.
Somebody didn't say anything, so you don't know the context. Like what they're like, who cares? It's been 20 years. I'm sure they did.
I'm not saying who cares, but like at a certain point, you have to let the past be the past. Remember and don't dwell on it. Like how long are you gonna sit there and it's a publicity stunt. It's not anything that's actually there for people to be remembered. Like what you do in private. And how you remember things in private says more about you than something like if you're in front of a camera, like everyone, oh look at me, I'm supposed to be here. I'm your leader. This is blah blah blah. It's too much for me. It's too much. It feels cheap, like you're using the deaths of those 2,000 plus people and the attack that happened on that country 20 years later, on our country 20 years later to get yourself votes and make yourself look good. I would rather us as a nation, like I had a moment of silence on Monday. I remembered in my own way and did my own thing. I would rather that be the case than someone just get out there and use it for a publicity stunt. I honestly don't think Joe Biden thought that through or even believed that statement. I'm not saying that came from him. Yeah.
It came from his cabinet.
After backlash, I'm assuming, of people.
No, it was before.
Oh.
So before they're like, because they know what the president's going to be doing. His schedule is like set. Like everybody knows what's going on. They're like, so on Monday, why isn't the president going to be at World Trade Center? And he's like, well, why would he go there? But it was interesting because I don't know, like there was no context of why he was in Alaska.
Yeah, for what?
Other than he was at a military base in Alaska. It's interesting. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't really care what that guy does. How many more months do we have of him in office?
We got a couple more. potentially 4 years in a couple months.
You shut your whore mouth. That'll never happen. That guy is going to die before that.
If you're out there.
Not saying I'm going to kill him. He's old as fuck. I'm sorry. This is going to be on the airways. I have no want or need or like urge to do anything bad to the United States president.
Right. So, but what I'm...
That came off real bad. I just had to...
Well, let's see. So, Biden. If you're listening, not Biden. I know he's not listening.
If he is, he's got another problem.
Yeah. But if you're listening, you're thinking like, oh God, I can't stand him, or he's my favorite president. I hope you vote to back that up.
Yeah.
If you were pissed off and frustrated with your local government and your country's government, then fucking vote.
Yeah.
Stop talking shit. Just go vote. And I know if you live in a state like I do, and I hate it. I live in New York. New York has been blue. It will always be blue.
We're in the reddest area of the state, though.
But if you look, if you pull up a map of New York State and the Electoral College and how people vote, the area that I live in, I don't live in the city of Rochester. Rochester's blue, like every other major city, but we live out in the country. I mean, we live in like bigger towns, and it's all red. But it doesn't matter. But if you're in a state like I am, and you're like, well, it doesn't matter how I vote, that's a bullshit thing to say. Just go out there and vote. Do your duty.
There's enough people that say if I vote a certain way, it doesn't matter. If enough people of those people actually got out there and voted, maybe it would change. Maybe
it would.
For real.
If nothing else, you could say I did my part to vote for who I thought would be the best president. You know what I mean?
Every time I vote, the other guy gets elected, so I'm just gonna start voting for.
I voted for Trump. I'm not gonna lie. I voted for Barack Obama too.
I voted for Barack Obama because I
actually
thought he did a good job.
I still think he was a good president.
Yes.
Definitely.
He didn't sound like a fucking retard. That's
he was
sure.
Well spoken, educated, young.
Yeah.
I mean,
handsome.
Yeah, dude. It's like crazy.
Did I just say that out loud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's the most powerful person in the world. Like,
I mean,
if he wants it, he wants it.
Monica Lewinsky the shit out of him.
Oh, absolutely. What are you talking about? So, but vote. I think it's important. I'm not gonna get super political. I don't want to do that, but I think it's important to understand what's going on in the country and understand that you should vote. So that's all I'll say about that. You got anything else?
Yeah, you thought I was gonna get real mad about that, didn't you? It kind of threw you a little curveball.
It threw me a huge curve. I'm like, now I got to make you mad about other stuff.
Yeah, you'll get there, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. So this week, this past week, the NFL went back into
Oh no, we're not.
Listen,
Linda.
Okay. Week 1 of the NFL started, and great kickoff. We had a lot of great games. I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. Miami Dolphins won on the road against the Chargers. I thought it was great. It didn't go as well for some of the other teams that started, obviously. Our Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs, lost to the Detroit Lions.
Sure did.
In a shocking game, to me at least.
It was shocking. Well, I kind of was rooting for... honestly, I thought that the Lions could win that game. I did not think they actually would. I thought it was a possibility.
I thought this was going to be a good game.
Yeah.
But...
And
played like crap.
It was a good game, except for to various Tony, or whatever, however you pronounce his name, dropping 4 passes. That's not a good look, bud. Especially when you've been talking shit to the Giants fans all summer.
And then who's your team?
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember.
Big Bills fan.
Bills. That's right. The Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Right, which is our local team here in upstate New York.
Yeah.
Western New York.
They have training camp right down the street.
They sure do in Fairport, New York, which is only 15 minutes from where we are right now.
We drive by it on the way to work every day.
Yeah. So great. They looked fantastic coming out of last year. They come into this year very promising.
Mm-hmm.
On paper.
Yeah.
Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
What exactly happened this week?
Josh Allen played like shit, threw 3 picks, and fumbled the ball once.
To be fair, though, he had more completed passes to the Jets than Aaron Rodgers did.
He had more completed passes to... He almost had more completed passes to the Jets, if you include the fumble that the Jets recovered. So he had as many turnovers as Aaron Rodgers had snaps as a Jet.
And if you don't know, Aaron Rodgers, who has played for the Green Bay Packers for like 18 years, decided to leave there and play for the Jets on a huge deal. There was a ton of money.
He actually restructured his contract.
Jets haven't been good in fucking years.
They have the longest active streak of not making the playoffs in the NFL right now.
Right. So, they brought this great quarterback in, and 4 snaps in, he is out for the year.
And it didn't fucking matter because the
Week
Bills
1,
still lost.
4th snap, and then the Bills end up losing in a surprise loss.
And
I bet on them. I bet on the Bills.
I stayed awake for that whole game and had to go to work. I went to sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning, pissed off.
Woke up at 4 to go to work.
Fuck you. Okay, this isn't even
See,
a better.
I knew it.
Oh,
I knew
I haven't talked about this fucking game all week. The next Tuesday, I didn't even turn. I normally listen to sports talk on the way into fucking work. I listen to fucking music. I didn't turn on the Pat McAfee show because I fucking listen to it every day. But I knew that was going to be a conversation. Didn't listen to it for 2 days. Haven't spoken a fucking word about this game until this stupid fucking podcast right now. And I'm pissed off. Go fuck yourself.
Oh.
All right. Next. Fuck you.
Oh, man.
We can keep going. I don't care.
No, we're not gonna do too much sports. That's not what this podcast is about. I just did that just to mess with you. I do think that the Bills are a great team. I think they're gonna have a successful year. Yeah. I think they're gonna be easily a 10-6 team, if not better. Yeah. So I'm just messing with you. I do have a funny military story though about football. I remember I got to the fleet. My dog just keeps barking because he's a jerk. But I got to the fleet, and I remember one time they were like, "We're gonna play football for PT," and I was like, "Oh man,
huge mistake!
Great, we did it! Yeah. Like this is gonna be great." So, like a handful of people left with injuries.
Yeah,
1,000%. I got tackled because we were playing full blown.
Yeah.
I got tackled by my platoon sergeant, and he bruised my ribs. I had to go to medical.
Nice.
Like, I was, messed up.
Yeah.
Couldn't breathe right.
So,
he was like, fucking PFC coming in here. Yeah, he fucking smashed me, bro.
Yeah, you should have come with the middle.
I still remember him.
Yeah.
Fat piece of shit.
He hit you, though.
He hit me hard.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to go down like that.
So we were, what is that base up near Seattle in Washington? Fort Lewis. So when I was at my first duty station, we went to Fort Lewis for training, for seed burning training. Okay. They did my unit was in charge of decon for if an NBC attack happened. So we're up there for 2 weeks on training. It's Sunday. Ooh, damn, bro.
It's Sunday. Hard, damn.
Yeah, out of nowhere, bro.
My bad.
It's Sunday, no training on Sundays, so we're all sitting there, and it was like World War II barracks we were all living in, right?
Perfect.
And it was us, and there was a fucking batch of Marines right over here doing some training too, and we had this little area in the middle. It was this rock quarry, gravel, just bullshit little, what do you call them? The yard in between the barracks. I can't, the
courtyard?
The courtyard, thank you. Couldn't fucking figure it out. So we didn't have a football, so we filled a water bottle full of rocks and duct taped it. And we were just sitting out there throwing pass plays to each other. So then the Marines come out of the fucking barracks. And they're all talking shit. And they get out there, and so we start talking shit.
Shocker.
Yeah, so we start talking shit back. And it turned out into an 11-on-11 full fucking pickup.
Oh, yeah.
Tackle football game.
Red 7!
With a fucking water bottle full of rocks as our football. And it was insane. It was awesome, though. It was one of the funnest fucking times I've ever had playing football. We destroyed each other.
Rivalries in the military
Yeah.
end up being like awesome.
Yeah.
Like doing stuff together. Like
Because we're not fighting.
Right.
We got into a scuffle, but afterwards it was all love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely got hit. I definitely hit somebody really cheap coming up. I was playing corner, and he decided he was going to cut. He got me too. I tripped him, and I fucking fell on top of him on the rocks.
Nice.
Yeah, fuck you. He got me, though. I was sliding all over the place. Playing in PT shoes on a fucking gravel. You know what? Fuck you. All right, how about that?
Well,
get in the dirt.
On that note, so if you have any stories, subjects, you want to be on the show.
Yeah.
Even if you want to do it remotely, we've had a couple people on remotely. We could do it over the phone, over Zoom.
Yeah, how's Heart going?
Great.
Nice.
Still doing good, yeah.
Sure.
So, hit us up on the socials. Give me an email. I respond immediately. I actually just, our email is straightoutofthesandbox@gmail. And,
yo, good looks to my homie out there in Connecticut. Yeah. Really hooking some shit up, man. Some cool stuff.
The owner and graphic designer of, I think that's what his title is. I know he's the owner of Six Above graphic design. They do all different design for like products and makes like logos and things. We grew up together, and he sent me some logos and little things for Straight Out of the Sandbox. So definitely gonna be using them for something.
Yeah, I think we got some
maybe some stickers, some unit crest type stuff.
Stickers.
I think it's a good design for that.
We start with stickers, maybe a coin someday.
Yeah. So it's cool. Definitely check him out. Six Above, which is a play on like six above, like like six above ground, like six below ground.
Oh, I never even put that together. So he's not dead.
Nah,
good for him.
He's very creative.
Very
he's
much
got a lot of good clients, and he's doing good. So check him out. Check out his website. He's got some cool T-shirts and posters and stuff that are like really neat. And he also makes a hot sauce, which is pretty crazy. It's called the Tingling Taint. It's actually really good.
I would love to lick his tingling taint.
Nothing would make me more excited than if everybody went on Six Above's website and just like fucking just bought all their shit out. I'm like,
I'm gonna buy some tingling taint.
Yeah, his t-shirts are cool. I have one upstairs. He does a lot of like. He's a very big hip hop guy. He collects a lot of vinyl. When I say a lot of vinyl, like a lot of vinyl, like a whole room full of vinyl, and so a lot of his t-shirts and stuff have like hip hop quotes on them and things like that, and he does like cool designs of them. So check that dude out, Jay Larsh, in Connecticut.
It was either Ken
Six Above, yeah.
It was either Ken Kniff from Connecticut or I'm the king of New. If you're the king of New York, why you live in Connecticut?
Oh, okay.
50 talking about Ja Rule,
yeah.
Gangster.
But I had somebody reach out to me through an email that heard a story, and he was like, heard about it. I don't know if he scrolled through or something. He said he stumbled upon our podcast and realized that it was somebody he knew. He lives like an hour from here, and we went to high school together. So he's like, "Holy shit! I'm listening on the podcast. Sent me a thing." So funny story. I mentioned somebody in boot camp. His name was Noble. That was an absolute mess.
That's the one that got his ass beat, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I described him in detail. This guy reaches out to me. His name's Corey, and says, "Bro, I think I know who this Noble person is." And I said, "No way." And he's like, "Yeah, he was in my unit, and man, he was a fucking mess." And I was like, and we went back and forth a little bit on the emails, and I was describing him just to make sure we had the same person.
Yeah.
It was definitely him.
Yo, it's such
That's
a small world, dude.
Small world, man. Like crazy.
Like I'm in Korea going to WLC, and I end up rooming with another dude named Josh who grew up in Rochester.
That's crazy.
That literally happened to me.
And these stories are all over the military. Definitely send us yours.
We're living in a fucking simulation, bro. There's no way. There's literally, we're definitely in a simulation.
So it's actually I was like watching this thing with like I think it was like Neil deGrasse Tyson or Joe Rogan or something, and they were talking about the mathematical probability that we live in a simulation due to like all the things that we live with, and they're like it's a probability we live in a simulation.
Yeah, but
everything's a problem.
Yeah, that's not even. Thank you, Neil deGrasse Tyson, for pandering to the fucking audience. How about you give me some numbers, bitch?
I love that dude.
He's so dry. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I was a kid, I would get high and listen to some of his shit that he would do. Before I got sober, there was like the one where he did the planets.
How big's the universe?
I got stoned one time and watched the first episode of it, and I was just like, and he's like in this little orb thing flying through space. He's like, this is fucking crazy. How did they film this shit?
Oh my god. Well, I'm gonna use that segue into bullshit news of the week.
Yeah, because
bullshit news of the week. COVID-19 is back.
Oh, dun dun dun! Suck my dick.
Wait, what? How am I still reading about fucking COVID?
Who cares?
Well, this is why I care. I'm getting text messages and emails about these goddamn booster shots. For one, not vaccinated.
Yo,
don't give a fuck.
Me either. Yo, CVS sent me a fucking text message saying they had a vaccine ready for me.
Yeah, you could keep it.
Yeah.
I don't get a flu shot either. Go fuck yourself.
Nope. I haven't got a flu shot since I got out of the army.
And if you want to debate me on this subject, I will have you on any day of the week.
Go ahead. Everyone's supposed to die. I don't know if you guys know this.
COVID-19 is a joke. The boosters are a joke. They're talking about freaking...
we literally paid Pfizer.
Yo, bro, I'm starting to see people in masks again.
Yeah, well, right.
Because they're talking about it on the news. Like, we're back into... It's cold season.
Nah.
So it's COVID season.
Yeah,
I'm like,
because you get the fucking flu this time of year.
We just got sick. Like, I was just sick a couple days
My
ago.
bitch ass was still at work. I mean, my pants.
I did call in.
I called in one day.
We were both sick. It went around. We had this thing where we were all getting nauseous and throwing up. But like, you get sick, you deal with it, you go back to work.
Just give
me a break.
For fuck's sake, I'm not putting the goddamn mask on. There's no way.
So in news, a police department, I believe it was Chicago. I apologize for not knowing exactly where it was, but it was a very, very big police department. Their police department said it was mandated COVID-19. What is that called? Like when you release information. Yeah, so like their department said you had to be vaccinated with a booster. If you got one of the ones that have a booster or whatever, which they all do now. And you have to give them that information saying that you got vaccinated with a booster, or you have to get tested every week and you pay for it.
No.
That's what they're saying. They proposed a walkout. Believe it or not, in most places it's really hard for cops to strike because it's dangerous.
Yeah.
For a police department to shut down. So what they do is they stage like sick time. They'll say like everybody calls in. You know what I mean? Like, and if you think that's like ridiculous, like, oh, how could they do that? Like they're police. Listen, these are just regular fucking people. Yeah. If you don't want to do this at your job, they don't want to do it at their job either.
Yeah.
And to say that they have to pay for their own testing because they don't want to get vaccinated is crazy. If
it's a fucking company policy, the company should pay for it.
There is no evidence that the vaccine makes it so you don't get the
There's no evidence that fucking COVID is actually the reason all these people die. Let's not, I mean, if we're going to go off the rails here.
Okay, hold on. Put on my tin hat. There we go.
It's not even a tinfoil hat. It's been proven at this point. 2 years ago, this would have been tinfoil hat conversation. But right now, it's been proven. They literally doctored. You could have had a heart attack, and they would have put COVID complications on your death certificate.
Right.
Because all it was complications from COVID.
Right.
Right? But you died of other things, but you might have had COVID at the same time.
Yeah. So what that story was...
So the numbers are inflated. On top of that, even with the inflated numbers, it still didn't have a high percentage of death to warrant shutting everything down.
Right.
Even with the inflation, what lying about the numbers did not give enough of a reason to shut everything down.
COVID fucked everything up.
Everything, dude.
The shutdowns messed up the economy.
Oh.
Messed up the.
It killed the
employment,
inflation rates where we're at right now. We're still feeling the effects of it.
We're still feeling the effects of the distribution.
Oh yeah, the shortages of manufacturing.
Yeah,
The
they're
whole
still being felt.
Yeah, you go try and buy a fucking car right now.
It's a nightmare. It's actually something we're going to talk about that in a bit. But the COVID-19 stuff, it led me to think about this story. I ran into somebody. It was actually a girl, a parent on one of my kids' sports teams. We went to high school with her, and her husband was there. Started talking to him. Find out he's a Marine. So I'm like, wow, really cool. So we start talking. He's a pilot.
Oh.
And I'm like, awesome. And he's still in. I'm not going to give out any names because
I think we talked about this before.
Yeah. So during the COVID shutdowns, the military was doing all sorts of stuff to try to, you know what I mean, to contain it or whatever. They were, sending people home. Everybody had to wear masks. They were mandating everybody get vaccinated. And he's very much against the vaccine for numerous reasons. One of them being religious. He's a very religious person. He's like, I'm not getting the vaccine. I also don't believe in the vaccine. I think it's ridiculous and all that stuff. And they told him, you either get the vaccine or kicking you out. And this guy is a trained Marine pilot with, I want to say at the time that this was going on, he had over 10 years of service. Over 10 years of service.
Countless hours and money spent on training.
Oh, millions of dollars spent on training these people. Because it's crazy expensive to train and fly.
Yeah.
And they were just going to kick him out. And right before, he already said it. He made plans. He goes, I'm going to have to get out. And he was dead serious. Him and his wife were like trying to figure out what they were going to do. Because it was a lot of money lost, obviously. And right before that he was going to do that, they backpedaled on it and said, you can do testing and stuff instead. So he ended up staying in. As far as I know, he's still in right now.
All right. COVID. So really, it's in the news, like it's coming back?
Yeah, it's in the news. And people are talking about it. I mean, I'm telling you, masks are back. Slowly coming back in.
Hard pass.
Bro, I'm not doing it.
Yo, they start telling me I gotta wear a mask again.
Yo, you out there, you want to wear a mask?
By all means.
Respond to our social media. Get on Instagram.
I'm not even gonna talk shit about you wearing a mask. Like if you want to make that call for yourself, that makes
but
you
don't
feel
tell
more
me I gotta wear a mask.
Absolutely.
The fucking mask doesn't even do anything.
No.
The particles go right through it.
Yeah.
The particles that are in COVID are so small, they go right through it. They go right out the side. You can breathe through the mask, right?
Yeah.
That means that the shit's getting through.
You got a better chance of getting yourself sick because nobody.
Oh yeah, they're all dirty.
They're all dirty. You keep the same mask on you all the time. Now we're making a bunch of clutter. We don't have the ability to have plastic bags in this state.
Bro.
We can't get plastic bags at the grocery store anymore. You have to be, which I'm actually okay with now.
If you're not from New York State, I don't know what other states do this. Probably California.
Yeah, probably.
But our state banned plastic bags.
Yeah.
So if you go to the store and buy something, you don't get a bag anymore.
So where I'm going with this is like you can't get a bag here. The amount of masks I've seen sitting on the side of the road,
they're in the ocean.
They're all over the place. All over the place. Everywhere you could think of that is just fucking mask everywhere. We're just making a fucking mess for no goddamn reason.
It's crazy.
It's more shit to waste.
It's
fucking nuts.
I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not getting vaccinated. I'm not making my kids get vaccinated.
Nope.
My kids are old enough to make their own to have a voice in their health decisions.
That's a very well way to put that.
I said, listen, if you think you want to get vaccinated, just tell me why you think that you should get vaccinated. And I would listen. If my daughter was like, 15, 16 at the time, and I'm thinking, she's like, if she came up to me and said, I looked at the research and I think that, for everything I want to get vaccinated and blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, you know what? Okay. You if that's your choice. but I'm not gonna make my kids get vaccinated. Like, for something that doesn't even help them freaking keep from getting sick. It makes no sense. I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
But it is in the news. Interesting story. If you're out there and you're being affected by COVID-19, or you had like some cool, interesting stories, not cool stories, but like an interesting story about your time in the military during COVID. I don't have a lot of people that I've talked to that were in the military, active duty during COVID.
I don't think I had anybody.
Right. So if you're out there, if you're active duty during COVID, I would love to hear your perspective on how they handled it.
Right.
I don't know. And the military is not real public about sharing shit like that. So like, it's not like it was all over the news or anything. So
I thought everyone was going to have to get the vaccine because I know you can't really turn them shits down.
So
like
it was mandatory.
But
They
I don't think everyone had to.
So, right. But if you were in, you just did.
Yeah.
From what I heard, they were telling my daughter, because my daughter just joined the Army, that she was probably going to have to get vaccinated. And they said, if you don't get vaccinated before you go, we'll give it to you when you get there. So she didn't get vaccinated. She didn't want to or whatever.
Right.
She got to boot camp. They're not doing it right now.
Perfect.
So she was like, I guess I'm not doing it. So I was like, good for you.
Yeah.
So hit us up, email us straight out of the sandbox at Gmail, or get us on X, Instagram, or TikTok.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. You're starting to call it X now.
That's what it's called.
You've come full circle.
Full circle, also known as Twitter.
I'm tweeting on the X. That's what McAfee says.
Sweet on the X.
Yeah, I'm
hilarious.
X.
I'm Xing. I'm Xing on the X right now.
Suck it. Everyone in our generation, I got in trouble for saying.
Who was that?
It was D-Generation X, bro. It was
Generation X.
Yeah, D-Generation X. It was in wrestling. It was fucking Triple H, the Shawn Michaels, Kevin. Oh, what the fuck was his name? Oh, that big motherfucker. I can't remember his name right now. But everyone did that. I got in trouble for that doing it at day camp. I was like, "Suck it!" I told one of the fucking. I told one of the camp counselors to suck it, not knowing what the fuck it meant at all.
It's funny because, like, as a kid,
yeah,
I was never into wrestling, never watched it, nothing. And as an adult, I'm way more interested.
Dude,
it's like
AFN had that shit. Yeah,
it's scripted, like, combat sports.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's a scripted combat sport. And if you don't, like, if you're out there, you're like, no, it's real. Well, it's not real. But it's not.
They're
real.
still hurting each other.
Oh, like, for sure.
Yeah, it's not.
They know the outcome of the fight, but like everything that happens in between is like a full. Like, they're fucking each other up.
There was times at like MWRs because the AFN always had wrestling.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So like there'd be full, like, packed arenas, packed little MWRs wherever it would be. We would all be there watching on these big ass tube TVs that for some reason is all they had in Iraq. And you like that was the only real form of entertainment.
Oh yeah, those big ones.
Those big ones, yeah. You remember those sons of bitches?
I do, because my cousin had one, and they have money.
Yeah, the projection ones in the back of it.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. They cut a hole in their wall.
Yeah.
And put the fucking TV in.
I bet you they feel stupid now.
Yeah, they're doing it for everyone else.
Well, I mean,
oh, you mean the hole?
Yeah, the hole.
In the house anymore. I don't know.
Oh.
But
yeah, it's fucking cool. It was so yeah, I just remember everyone just getting there, and then we'd all be watching wrestling, and that of course turned into us doing it in the out right outside.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the people's elbow.
Yeah,
shut your fucking mouth.
Hold my rifle. Lock up.
All right. So another interesting story this week. This guy escaped prison in Pennsylvania.
Oh, I heard about
this. So this actually happened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He escaped. He's a murderer.
Yeah, he was out there just living in the fucking woods for 2 weeks.
So this guy's name is Danilo Cavalcante. I'm going to go ahead and say this is a Hispanic gentleman.
See.
Okay. So I'm listening to, I read a couple articles, and they have footage. So I'm like scrolling through. There's like footage of this guy fucking crawling up the walls at prison.
Yeah, he literally
he was crab walking up the walls.
He scaled and then moonwalked out that bitch.
I'm like, what the fuck? And then so they were like,
and he broke into someone's house and stole a rifle.
Oh, I didn't read that.
He got still 22.
So I knew he was in the woods,
Yeah.
and they said that he was he had experience living in like rough
Oh yeah.
environments. So they were like, he's gonna be okay out there. Like he's out there living.
You know what the theory is? What the conspiracy theory is for this?
Okay.
Why do I always know the conspiracy theories for everything?
I don't know. You don't know any news.
I don't know any news, but honestly, and I swear to God, if you're new to the show, I don't know what the fuck is on that notepad. I do not have access to it.
It's a secret.
No one's gonna believe me because how this episode's going so far.
I know you were calling out stuff like.
I have no idea what's on there. I don't try and sneak a peek. I don't care. I like it better this way. So the conspiracy theory is this guy was a CIA plant.
What?
Yeah, he's a special. The theory is he's a special forces operative, and he's in here and he escaped for a reason, and it's all a plant from the CIA,
No.
and they're trying to extract him.
He's just a murderer who escaped.
And he's just living out there, and you're gonna tell me.
So they caught him this week.
Yeah, I know they caught him, but what did he do before they caught him?
I don't know. Did you see who caught him?
No.
It was a dog, canine cop.
Oh, they got him with the dog?
Got him with the dog.
Hell yeah.
4-year veteran of the Pennsylvania State Troopers.
Malamute got him?
No, he was a German Shepherd.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because they've been doing those fucking...
No, I saw that. I mean, there's a picture of him.
Okay.
Or her.
Well, the dogs, they look very similar to German Shepherds. Like a cousin of the German Shepherd, but they're more...
It could be.
They're more trainable, apparently. And they're not as retarded.
What? I have a German Shepherd.
I know.
Which is what he's alluding to.
Oh, Chief, so much.
My dog is super duper smart and retarded.
At the same
all at the same time.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, you've probably heard him bark a few times if you listen to the whole podcast, because he's like, can see us recording and he's like, I'm gonna bark, I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna be a part of this podcast whether you like it or not. My name's Chief. I'm a big deal.
So pretty crazy story. This dude escaped on his own, got out, was in the woods for 2 weeks in the Pennsylvania forest, and then got him with a canine. So glad that he's back in prison, because from what I saw, he looks like a piece of shit.
I mean, to be fair. He, if he was used to living in the woods, maybe he's just a product of his environment. Maybe he needs a second chance. Or maybe he's just a piece of shit.
I'm gonna go with piece of shit.
I'm trying to be more positive lately. I've been real angry lately.
I'll be honest though, on this subject of prison. So I've worked at a jail before. And jail and prison doesn't do shit to anybody.
Like, as far as, like, help them?
Yeah.
No.
It's
it makes
not
it worse.
an appropriate punishment for anything.
For
They're
certain things.
Okay, you murdered somebody. Well, you have to stay in this building for 20 years.
With a bunch of murderers.
Why? Like, there has to be a better way.
So,
I don't know what that way is. I don't know how we'd pay for it. I'm not saying I have all the answers.
What if we figure
But I'm
out,
just saying...
Right? So what if you're, like, real heinous, right? Like,
Okay.
you're on death row. Death row shouldn't be a thing.
Why?
Right? Like, if you get caught, legitimately get caught red-handed, irrefutable evidence.
Okay.
Public execution.
Oh, you mean like... So you're saying, like, people shouldn't just be sitting on death row for so long?
Yeah.
I agree with that. Okay.
I mean, obviously, if that's without a shadow of a doubt.
I
want video evidence. I want to like catch you in the act.
You can't make special circumstances for, like, the death penalty. If somebody's guilty, they're guilty. You can't say, well, there's too many
guilty. There's too many options. There's too many times where someone was charged. We're getting into a time period.
That's what I'm saying. If you're guilty, you're guilty. We shouldn't be sending somebody to prison for 25 years based on half-assed evidence. We should have real evidence. There should be some fucking DNA.
Oh,
There should
absolutely.
be some crazy shit. So, I don't know.
That's what I was. I mean, we were both saying the same thing, except we were saying it differently.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just think that jail is, and I've seen different jails and different prisons, and it's just like a shitty thing to do to somebody.
It's like,
and I understand, like,
labor.
you're like, oh yeah, you're out there, and or people say, well, they're bad people, they deserve to be in there. Not all of them are that bad people.
Yeah.
Some people just make a bad fucking choice.
Yo, can you imagine selling some weed in a state that weed is now legal and you're in jail for fucking 10 years for selling some weed?
Bro,
can you imagine?
If you're out there and you have been arrested for marijuana, please reach out to me. I would love to see your take on this. Because we were just talking about this the other day, and somebody was saying how they went into marijuana is legal in New York State for recreational purposes now. And so you could go to like a dispensary, is what they call them. Mm-hmm. You just like walk in, it's like a regular ass store.
Yo, Colorado, they had discount weed. They had newspaper clippings. You could clip coupons out of the Sunday paper and get weed at a cheaper rate.
The one in Rochester was advertising they had a military discount. I was like, what?
Listen, these kids are spoiled. You need to go buy your weed.
These kids are spoiled.
You need to go buy your weed behind a McDonald's at 2 o'clock in the morning from a shady character where you got to go get in their car.
Yeah, you don't even know if it's weed.
Well, I mean, you need to investigate the product while you're in the car. No, smell.
What if they put a little weed in there and the rest is shit?
You can tell the difference.
All right. Well, I mean, you're the expert.
Don't send the fucking new kid in there to get the bag.
Don't send me in.
Yeah.
What's this? It smells bad.
Oh man, it smells like grandma's kitchen. Like she's making Sunday sauce.
A little cinnamon in there.
A little oregano.
A little Italian seasoning.
Yeah.
You know what? On that subject, and we're not gonna do a lot of talk about it right now, but if you're out there and you live in a state, all right, so if you're in the military right now, or you were in the military in a state where weed was legal,
yep,
I would love to hear your stories of how people are dealing with that in those areas. Because let's just say
I can tell you right now.
Let's just say you're stationed in New York. I don't know all the states that it's legal and what all the bases are and everything. But let's say you're stationed in New York. Weed is legal now, so people everywhere are just going and buying it because you can. How are you guys dealing with that in the military?
So
because
Colorado was
pretty shitty.
The Colorado was nuts. So they offered a military discount in Colorado.
I mean, they'd be like saying like, "Oh, yeah, I know alcohol's legal here, but you can't have any."
So like in Colorado, they had dispensaries everywhere, and you know how like outside of most military bases, there's a funny meme where it's like liquor store.
Oh yeah, liquor store, gun store,
pawn shop, and divorce attorney.
Strip club.
Yeah, strip club, all in the same little strip mall.
Oh yeah.
Well, in Colorado, it has all of that, and then there's also a dispensary.
Throw a CC's in there.
Or like a Popeyes chicken, you got a 2 for $20, or the 2 for Tuesday, you get a 2-piece for $2. Popeyes.
So
Swear to God, there's a Popeyes right before my liquor store.
So good right now.
It was so good. Big Popeyes chicken, but so. It was also bad because like if you would go to parties, like if you had friends off post that weren't military, you didn't know what the fuck had weed in it. And back then, it was super weird because like edibles were still kind of new. Like everyone made brownies growing up, but like legitimately like getting gummies or like energy drinks or whatever the fuck the case may be, you didn't know. There was lotions and stuff like that. There was hand soaps and stuff like that with THC in it.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, the lotions are weird. So if you're at somebody's house, you're like, I got dry hands. Let me get some lotion. Somebody gives you some lotions, THC in it. You get pissed hot. Just getting some lotion.
You got some like high ass hands.
Yeah, it's supposed to help with like muscle relaxation and shit like that.
Okay.
Could you imagine getting a massage like that? Could you imagine getting your dick beat off? Yo, you get a massage with some weed lotion and get a happy ending at the same time. And maybe if you're lucky, she presses the panic button.
And we're going to end the podcast right now. No, I'm kidding. We're going to get some lotion for my dry skin. Just real quick. That thought never even crossed my mind. I don't know where you come up with this shit. But
what?
The
weed
lotion.
The jerking off with weed lotion?
Yeah. No. Weed lotion never even.
Yeah. I had to do a safety brief on it because I found out about it. So they put me out in the safety. I had to do the whole company safety brief that week because I fucking mentioned it to my commander. He's like, "That's a good idea. Work on a safety brief this week." I was like, "Fuck." All right.
Well, all right. So in other news, my last news story for the week, which I found out about through a couple stories, a couple episodes ago when we were talking about electric cars. I was talking about electric cars, talking about how it's going to affect like the industry in the United States, and the UAW, which is the United Auto Workers Union in Detroit, said that they would stage a strike if the mandates were put for the electric cars. So I started looking at it just to see, like, you know, if they're serious or not or whatever. But this has nothing to do with the electric cars. The union that represents... I'm going to read some of this because there's a lot. So
Please don't read what I think you're about to read because it's about to piss me off. But go ahead, I guess.
That's the only reason I brought it up. United Auto Workers, the union that represents workers at the big three automakers in Detroit, are threatening to strike over stalled contract negotiations. One of the changes the union wants to see is a 4-day work week.
I'm looking directly into the camera for this or my response. Keep going.
Where you get to work 32 hours and you get paid for 40 hours.
Mm-hmm. With a pay raise. What's the percentage of the pay raise?
They didn't really talk about that. President of the union explained the demands of the union. Our members are working 60, 70, or even 80 hours a week just to make ends meet. That's not a living. It's
I remember surviving. My first part-time job.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right,
you work 60 hours a week? Cool.
Oh, my God.
Get a real job. After receiving a contract proposal from Ford, which Fain said insults are very worth, he gave another address. The labor movement once fought for a vision of work life in which everyone had 8 hours of work, 8 hours of rest, and 8 hours of recreation. Sadly, it feels like we've gone so far backwards that we have to fight just to have the 40-hour work week back. Go fuck yourself.
I'm looking directly into this camera. Ford, all of you, every auto company that's dealing with these pieces of shit over there in this union, let them fucking walk.
Yeah. So they want, they're not the first group that wants 4-day work weeks, blah, blah, blah.
You want a 4-day work week? Work a 4-fucking-10.
So a teachers union proposed this in Missouri. How the fuck do you only have school 4 days a week?
So here's my thing, and I don't want to come off as like some fucking grouchy old man because I've been working my ass off my entire life. Do I think you need a proper work-life balance? Absolutely. 1,000%.
Bro. Go ahead.
1,000% you should have a proper work-life balance. And let's be honest, trickle-down economics hasn't really worked out for the middle and lower class. Not at all. But proposing to work less and to make more money is not how we fix that. That's not how we fix that. Working less, making more money is only going to raise the cost of the fucking goods that you are using. And to be completely honest, this ties back into the COVID shit we just fucking dealt with. We were just talking about. We've already got a shortage on everything. They've increased the prices of everything. Inflation is through the fucking roof right now. And to demand more money to work in a climate-controlled environment, putting together fucking cars and vehicles that is mostly done by robotics at this point, is exactly how you lose those jobs permanently, and we move to a fully automated fucking system that needs like way less people to be there. So you're fucking yourself for the future.
Bingo. Keep
it the fuck up, and this is how we get self-serve kiosks at a fucking McDonald's and nobody working a goddamn register.
Bro, they make $32 an hour.
Suck my dick. I know mechanics that don't make $32 an hour, and you guys are the ones that fuck their shit up that they have to fix 15,000 miles into the goddamn truck. Fuck you, you entitled, self-righteous pieces of shit.
I am...
$32 an hour, and you were getting overtime? You couldn't fucking get me off the overtime lot making $32 an hour.
So
are you out of your fucking mind?
So a family member of mine worked for GM. Also had GM had facilities in Rochester,
bro,
which is crazy.
I'm so mad right
but
now.
he was like telling me about it. He's like, oh yeah, they had the most ridiculous benefits. Like when they retired, they collected a pension after 20 years, and it included healthcare, free healthcare.
That's crazy.
And he was telling me, like, he would, I was doing different jobs or whatever. He's like, oh, you're working on a holiday? What are you getting for that? And I'm like, oh, time and a half. He's like, time and a half, bro. When I worked at GM, triple time. I was like, triple time? No wonder why that fucking place is going out of business.
Yeah, for real.
Like, the stuff that they're asking for is crazy.
That is absolutely bananas.
They're making $32 an hour. They want pay raises. They want more benefits. They only want to work 4 days a week now. They want to do all this stuff. It's like, where does it end?
There should be a proper work-life balance. We need the top ends of companies to not make as much money, and then it trickles down to the employees, right? Well, maybe instead of it trickling down to the employees, we lower the cost of everything.
That's the real answer right there.
We lower the cost of everything to then provide people with more sustainable ways of transportation.
Right. You don't have to make $45 an hour if the bread doesn't cost $9.
Thank you. You want to combat fucking inflation?
You have to. That's how you combat the economy.
Yeah.
Is controlling inflation.
Yeah.
Stop printing money. Stop making everything more expensive. It makes no sense.
We ain't fucking scientists. We're not fucking. We're not economists. We're not fucking someone who's well versed in it. We're just two grown ass men that are living in a situation where it's fucking expensive.
Yeah.
To do anything that you want to do.
And I saw my daughter's first paycheck in the Army, and I can tell you right now, she ain't making no $32 an hour.
No. My first paycheck in the Army was fucking like $545 for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, she makes more than that, but
yeah, it's a little different. That was fucking shut up. That was a long time ago.
I'm just saying, like, I understand a livable wage.
Yeah, I understand wanting to spend time with your family and do shit.
When people stand there and complain that they're not making a livable wage at McDonald's, I can't support me and my wife and my 2 kids on this McDonald's pay. That's not what that job's for.
No.
That job is for kids that are putting themselves through school. That's a part-time job for somebody who's looking for a little extra cash. That is a job for somebody who just got out of prison and doesn't have a car and he's got to walk there.
Yeah, somebody or like a teenage kid doing the same thing. Yeah,
right. You know what I mean? Like those aren't jobs.
Work your way up. Whatever happened to drive?
You want to know what your complaints did of raising the wage at McDonald's? Yeah, people at McDonald's are making $16, $17 an hour now. If you don't believe me, you can go there right now and apply. There's big signs
minimum.
in the window.
The first fucking job you're gonna get is like $16.50 over here in the fucking corner. An hour.
It's $15, $16, $17 an hour right now. But if you go there and you buy 2 fucking meals right now, it costs you $25. Remember when it used to be cheap to go to fast
the
food
dollar
restaurants?
menu is not even
expensive now, and it's because
I bought that Taco Bell yesterday. It was like $23, and all I got.
We got 2 regular meals, nothing weird, just regular stuff. $23 to get Taco Bell.
Yeah, Taco Bell used to be the fucking joint too. You got $6 in your pocket at 2:00 in the morning.
I'm glad those kids are now making $17 an hour, so I can pay all this extra.
Again, I don't. It's. I don't know. What I don't know. Where's the? I'm just.
All right.
The ADD just went through the roof. There's too much to look at up here.
If anybody is in the area and wants to talk about this with us, I'd love it. If you want to be on the show, reach out to us. Social media, X, Instagram, TikTok is those are the 3 I have right now. Straight out of the sandbox. You can look at it up.
And I'm thinking about buying some more of those polo shirts and maybe some hoodies and stuff like that. If there's anyone actually interested,
want to support
a
veteran-owned business, which what we are.
Yeah.
That we're just out here, spreading word.
Yeah. Give me some ideas of what you would like. I'd like to get some stuff up. You can support us and get some cool shit in the process. I would love to set that up. Let us know what you're interested in.
Or if you want to be on the show, or you want to, excuse me, Jesus. If you want to be on the show, somebody who wants to be on the show, a local business that's doing something great. Somebody reached out to me that's doing veteran suicide prevention.
Nice.
I'm trying to get him on the show, trying to see if we can make it work. He is on the forefront of suicide prevention, for veteran suicide prevention in this area. And I think that's awesome. He has this like cool thing that he drives around that has like fucking 22 a day, reminder on it that like so many veterans commit suicide. Somebody that's doing some cool shit like that.
Yeah.
And I say that's cool because that is fucking cool to me. Somebody goes out of their way to try to prevent something.
Be selfless for somebody else.
Yeah, it's crazy. And something that's like really a problem in the veteran community. I don't know a single person that I served with that doesn't know somebody that committed suicide.
I know 2 people.
That's what I'm saying. Like I have you. It's really hard to find somebody that doesn't know if that makes sense. Somebody in the military doesn't know somebody that committed suicide, which is a crazy statistic. We're not that many people. There's like 14 million of us right now.
Total. And that's alive veterans for the last.
And on average, 22 veterans a day are committing suicide. Like our group of people should not be suffering this way.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at percentages, there's more veterans that kill themselves than people died of COVID. Percentage-wise.
I would love to see those numbers.
Yeah, I'm just making shit up.
You're just making it up.
Yeah.
But very cool. We're gonna have some guests on in the next coming weeks. I'm trying to work it all out.
That motherfucker Cheese coming?
He's gonna come on remotely because he works in Florida. So he's gonna come on remotely with us next week.
It's good because
hopefully
we'll probably be talking shit.
Oh yeah, he's been out there running his mouth like a goddamn Marine, fucking shit.
Yeah, damn it.
No, but yeah. Hit us up.
Hell yeah, we
Let's
gotta figure out a
interact.
better way to wrap up the show. We gotta get we got the intro. We were all over it today.
This is good.
We're just fucking beat bopping and jiving and
Oh yeah.
There's a hoot nanny over here. Oh. What are we doing? Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us for another week here at Straight Out of the Sandbox. Don't be afraid to tell me how you feel about this show.
And if you don't like me, don't tell me. I don't fucking care. Eat a dick. Also, ladies, I'm thinking about growing in the beard. Okay? Like she said.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Daddy.
I want some likes or dislikes. I'm trying to get myself back out there looking all pretty and shit. But I also look like a bum most of the time, so.
On that note, thanks for joining us for another episode. We'll be here again next week. So like, subscribe, rate us, share this with your friends and your family. Trust me, like we need this to grow. And it's only going to grow by you guys being out there helping us by sharing and, spreading the word.
Yeah.
So
I think we're funny. You do too.
that's all I got. Love you guys.
Love ya. No rhythm.
Workaholics.
Oh, retarded. Motherfucker's getting my goddamn